Tonight, the deadly mass shooting in downtown Sacramento, leaving 6 dead, 12 others injured. Gunfire erupting on crowded streets in a popular nightclub area. People scrambling for safety from the relentless shooting. The search today for whoever was responsible. Ukraine accuses Russia of genocide as horrific images emerge showing dead civilians, some appearing to have been executed. Towns Russia has retreated from now filled with the dead.
We believe that Russian forces have committed war crimes.
How Russia is responding. Amid the horror, so many have fled Ukraine, but now some refugees are returning there. Why they're coming back. Spring break travel troubles, thousands of flights canceled, long lines wrapping through airports, passengers stranded. What caused the breakdown?
This is NBC Nightly News with Kate Snow.
Good evening. How many unending tragedies does it take before we begin to cure the sickness in this country? Those were the words of the mayor of Sacramento today, describing an overnight mass shooting involving what he called assault weapons. 6 people were killed, 12 others wounded. Listen to this video posted on social media, and you can hear just how fast the shots came. Authorities today asked the public to help by submitting photos or videos as they try to piece together what happened. Guad Venegas is in Sacramento for us and starts us off tonight.
A horrific scene after a night out in downtown Sacramento. A barrage of gunfire ripping through the crowded sidewalks, drawing nearby officers to the scene.
Multiple victims, CPR is in progress.
Officers nearby hearing the gunshots rush to help the victims.
Around 2 a.m. this morning, officers heard gunshots near 10th Street and K Street and saw people running. They were on scene almost immediately.
We were running, this lady went down. I guess she got hit in the leg, like right across from us.
Bystanders running for their lives.
All we heard was just gunshots, at least automatic gun. After that, we heard gunshots fired back.
The shooting taking place shortly after 2 a.m. when bars in downtown Sacramento were closing after a busy Saturday night. The victims' families waking up to the tragic news and now searching for answers. Pamela Harris lost her son Sergio.
It's crazy, and I'm just to the point right now I don't know what to do. I don't even think this is real. I feel like it's a dream.
Sacramento's mayor offering support to the families.
This is a senseless and unacceptable tragedy, and I emphasize the word unacceptable.
Sacramento police now asking witnesses to submit videos while acknowledging some of those shared on social media appear to show a fight that preceded the gunfire. It is unclear if the fight was related to the shooting.
And Guad joins me now from the scene. It's still an active investigation. Guad, what more have you learned?
Kate, just minutes ago, Sacramento police informed of the 6 that died. 3 were adult men, 3 were adult women. They've also recovered at least 1 stolen handgun, and they now know there were multiple shooters at the scene. Kate?
All right, Guad, thank you. Now to the other major story of the day. We're getting our first look at what Ukraine's president is calling a genocide. As Russia's forces pull out of areas around Kyiv, we're starting to see very disturbing images of the death that they have left behind. And we warn you, they are graphic. Gabe Gutierrez is in Ukraine.
Tonight, there are mounting calls for an international war crimes investigation as more grim images emerge from the suburbs of Kyiv. Bodies lying in the streets of Bucha. Men on bicycles, some with hands tied behind their backs. Civilians massacred. Those people were just walking, and Russian troops shot them without any reason, this man says.
You can't help but see these images as a punch to the gut.
Ukrainian authorities are now checking the bodies for landmines. While Russia today claimed the disturbing images were staged, President Zelensky is not mincing words.
This is genocide, the elimination of the whole nation.
As Russian forces retreat in northern cities, the new images show what they left behind. Their tanks obliterated as the Ukrainians mounted a fierce counterattack. The human cost is stunning. This is a mass grave.
I think those are sick people.
Irina Savsun is a member of the Ukrainian parliament who lives in Kyiv. She says the atrocity now visible in its suburbs makes any talk of a peace deal seem a long way off.
Frankly speaking, we just betray the memory of the victims because we need victory and we need justice.
There were new explosions today in southern Ukraine. Russia says airstrikes near the historic port city of Odessa destroyed an oil refinery and several fuel storage facilities.
It's scary to know that it's so close to you.
Valerie and her young daughter Yasmina left Irpin, another ravaged suburb near the capital.
It was a huge struggle for me to make this decision, and I didn't want to leave my own town.
Tonight, her neighbors surrounding Kyiv are counting their dead. The latest atrocity in a war with no shortage.
So hard to watch. Gabe joins us live from Lviv, Ukraine. Gabe, what's the latest on the peace talks you mentioned?
Kate, Russia's chief negotiator says that work on a peace treaty will resume tomorrow, but at this point, he does not share the same optimism about a potential meeting between Presidents Putin and Zelensky. Kate?
All right, Gabe, thank you. Despite all the devastation and death, thousands of refugees are actually traveling back across the border into Ukraine to return to their homes. Why are they risking their lives after initially fleeing to safety? Dasha Burns spoke with returning Ukrainians at the border with Poland.
With suitcases behind them and children in tow, the scene at the Medica border crossing in Poland now feels familiar. Only these people aren't fleeing the war. They're returning to it. Home. We want to go home, Olha tells me. We want our homes. We want our soil. At the start of the war, the traffic on this path was one way. By early March, 200,000 people a day were fleeing Ukraine. Saturday, it was just 37,000. And as word of Russia's military campaign moving east spreads, more people are deciding it's time to go back home. The direction I'm heading is toward Poland, toward safety. The people walking past me this way, they are heading back to Ukraine. In fact, yesterday in the Lviv region, more people returned than left. The Ukrainian border guard says more than 30,000 returned Saturday. Wives missing husbands, parents missing children, and children, like 8-year-old Veronica, missing mom. I will hug my mom, she tells me. I will say, Mom, I have been missing you so much. I am incomplete without you, and I don't want to be apart. Veronica's brother Oleg is 13. Both their mom and dad are in the military. This is scary and tough, he says. That you can be shot and the village can be bombed again. It's so scary. I miss them a lot. I miss my parents. And that longing is why we found people waiting for trains and lining up at the border by car. Tatiana Lutsishina is from Kyiv.
How to say, heart with Ukraine. That's why we want to go home.
Are they worried for their safety? Of course. But their love of both country and family is calling them home. Right now, the phone indicated a threat, she says. But we are going anyway. Tomorrow, we might flee again. But for today, we are going home. Okay. Dasha Burns, NBC News, Medica, Poland.
Now to the flight chaos upending air travel here in the U.S. This weekend, more than 9,800 flights have been delayed in and out of the U.S. and 3,500 flights canceled. It comes in the middle of spring break travel rush. Jesse Kirsch explains what's to blame.
Tonight, spring break up in the air for thousands. Many stuck in long lines with flights canceled this weekend.
My kids are going to miss school Monday.
Severe weather grounding hundreds of flights in Florida alone, leaving frustrated passengers stranded.
$200 love voucher is not going to cut it, especially when I have to pay $500 a night for a room.
The headaches cascading across the country. Travelers stuck from New York.
I have no idea if we're going to get on a plane tonight or not.
To Chicago.
I was trying to get home before my birthday, which is today. She's pregnant.
This weekend, FlightAware tracking more than 900 cancellations for Southwest, over 600 for American, more than 270 for Delta, and over 500 for JetBlue. Southwest Airlines apologizing, blaming technology maintenance, weather, and airspace issues for its headaches. Experts stress that carrier had a tougher weekend than others based on its network, but they're not the only ones struggling.
It's kind of the luck of the draw in a way. And so, next week it could be American in Dallas or, Delta in Atlanta. All it takes is one or two events, and airlines are getting better at recovering, but they're not there yet.
But passengers like Kelly Olson don't want excuses. Her family's hours-long layover in Baltimore has turned into a 2-night stay.
We're missing out on 2 nights at our resort. We can't rebook the Disney ticket for later in the week because it's spring break and they've maxed out everything there.
Jesse joins me now from LaGuardia Airport in New York. So when can we expect flights to get back to normal, Jesse?
Well, Kate, some experts estimated it could be Tuesday or Wednesday before the mess clears up for multiple airlines. But if we get more bad weather, that timeline could change. Kate?
All right, thank you. Work fewer days and get paid the same? Why more companies are giving employees a 4-day work week. It is Sunday night, and in between the chores and the errands and the to-do list, how many of you really got to rest over the weekend? How would you like a 3-day weekend, every weekend? Well, more companies are offering up just that. Emily Aketa now on the rise of the 4-day work week.
With American workers' burnout and stress at all-time highs,
the Great Resignation is still here.
Employees are inventing new ways to recruit, hire, and keep qualified workers, even if it means letting them work less.
Plop that down here.
New York-based online clothing company Primary is joining the growing ranks of businesses now offering a flexible 4-day work week.
Employees said it was life-changing.
In 2020, it switched from 5 days to 4, reducing hours without reducing pay. Primary CEOs say that's helped boost morale and the company's bottom line.
It was important to us to give people back time so that they could truly recharge, so that when they come back to work on Monday, they are really ready for the week.
Do you feel like you're able to retain and hire employees better than other companies?
We've had amazing success retaining talent on the team, and I think that the 4-day work week is a part of that.
The perk, a dream come true for Ray Baker.
The 3rd day kind of gives me permission to relax and reset. I've started doing yoga, started working on art and different creative projects.
Online businesses aren't alone in their rethinking of Monday to Friday. From restaurant groups to manufacturers, shortened work weeks are crossing industries.
Hola.
Take Ohio-based Advanced RV, for example. Starting this month, its 50 employees will try building the same number of vans in just a 32-hour week.
My first initial reaction was there is no way we can make this work. But I did come around to it and started thinking about it differently. How do we do more focused work?
Workplace consultants say the energy behind the recent push is unprecedented.
The cry for better boundaries around our work hours has only been exacerbated by the pandemic. The physical boundary that was left between work and life is now gone.
The movement is gaining traction overseas, too, as countries and major companies like Microsoft and Unilever test shorter work weeks. In Iceland, a years-long trial was so successful that now 86% of its workforce is on track to work fewer hours after finding productivity remains the same or improved. But some experts caution there's no one-size-fits-all. It depends on the kind of job you have, the type of equipment involved, and customers' calendars. Companies shifting the status quo as employees enter the uncharted territory of the new normal. Emily Ikeda, NBC News, New York.
When we come back, would you be brave enough to shave your head to help others? These kids sure are. There's good news tonight about going all in for a good cause and the grade schoolers who took a big risk to lift up others.
Take a look around Eisenhower Elementary in Crown Point, Indiana. You might notice a lot of kids here have something in common. With a snip here and a trim there. Dozens of students just got their heads shaved, all for a great cause.
I was like, wow, that's a lot of hair.
The event raises money for the St. Baldrick's Foundation, an organization committed to curing childhood cancer.
So what are you going to do with those 2 people?
Teacher Jory Russo got the idea to bring the program to her school from her son, Griffin.
He said, "Mom, my friend Will asked me if I could shave my head with him." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Shaving your head?" The 2 of them and a few other kids from school shaved their head. So the very next year I said, "Why can't we make this a school-wide thing?"
It's now been an annual tradition there for over a decade. This year, the 46 students who participated raised over $35,000. Heidi Meshady is one of them.
It was a very exciting day, but it was also it made me very nervous. But the moment I sat down in the chair to shave my head, all the worries went away.
5th grader James Katsouris says St. Baldrick's mission is an inspiration.
Having the feeling that you're helping somebody live a better life, it's such a great feeling.
The support means the world to classmate Mila Hurley. She's been in treatment for the most common form of childhood leukemia since 2020.
I just thought it was amazing.
Little kids with big hearts helping children with cancer, one haircut at a time.
How brave they are is overwhelming to me. Every year I'm just shocked and in awe of the kids and their willingness and selflessness.
Doing such a great thing. That is NBC Nightly News for this Sunday. I'm Kate Snow. For all of us here, stay safe and have a great night.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.